It's lunchtime, and this is Brad Anderson's Lunch Break. If you work with technology, you've probably been to more than a few conferences in Orlando. When I got invited to speak at Citrix Synergy, I booked a flight and called a few really smart people to meet up for lunch. Today I finished talking with Jacob Morgan, author of The Future of Work. So I read an article that you wrote at Forbes that talked about 75% of workers felt like they did not have the technology that they needed to do their jobs.
Yes.
So what are some talking points that you would give someone watching this to make the case for leaders to invest in technology and IT to, because it does affect the bottom line?
Yeah. Well, what's really interesting is that when most people think of technology, especially leaders inside of organizations, they think of it as literally just the tech thing. Like it's not human. It's tech. It sits elsewhere. It's like outside of like the main human side of how work gets done. But the reality is that when the technology breaks down, so does all of the human stuff that sits over here, right?
It's so dependent upon it now.
Yeah, because if you don't have the tools that you need to get your job done, trust breaks down, collaboration breaks down, communication breaks down. I can't tell you how many employees I've interviewed at companies where they say they love the culture, they love the people they work with, they love the physical space, yet they're all looking for other jobs. Because they don't have the tools.
Exactly.
No, yeah, if you don't have the tools to get your job done, none of the other stuff is really going to matter because technology becomes a human problem when it's left unchecked.
So you've written a handful of books that are all for sale on Amazon. They're really easy to find. And in the bottom of all those pages, they have other books that people have bought. Okay, so people who have bought your books,
I want to know.
You'd be interested in these books as well. So we're going to read you a list of books, and some of these are actually real books that came up when we looked on Amazon at your books, and some we made up. Okay, Life Storming.
I know that's a real book.
Yep, that's a real one. The Business Secrets of Pharaohs.
Business Secrets of Pharaohs? I really want to say you made that up, but I have a weird feeling that that's a real book. I'm going to go with a real book.
We made that one up.
Damn it!
But it was close.
I would buy that, by the way.
I would too.
Somebody wrote a book called The Business Secrets of Pharaohs. I would be all over that.
All right, next book. ROI WTF.
I hope to God that's not a real book title.
That is fake.
Okay, good. I was going to say, man.
The Achievement Factory.
That's definitely got to be a real book.
That's a real one, yeah. Shifting Your Paradigm Shift.
Shifting Your Paradigm Shift. Again, I'm going to go with made up.
That's a made up one.
Okay, good.
Extreme Ownership.
Oh, I know that's a real book.
And a shout out to Jocko on that one, right?
Yeah. That book became very popular. He's also another guy you don't want to mess with.
Totally. But I'd like to see him wrestle a gator.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, we should. If you're watching this, we're going to get you to wrestle a gator.
Synergizing deliverables.
What the hell? What does that even mean? Synergizing deliverables? Made up.
That's a made up one. And you're too good at this. The Hard Thing About Hard Things.
That's definitely a real book.
Real, yep. Going outside the box thinking.
That's made up.
That's a made up one. Man, we can't get you on any of these. Winning with a win-win.
Winning with a win-win. Made up.
Made up. I think you were like 10 for 10 on those. We're going to give you an autographed copy of Synergized Deliverables.
Excellent. You just got to write it, right?
Exactly. With a foreword by Jacob Morgan?
Exactly.
Okay, so as a futurist, you're always looking at emerging technologies. And so how can we be more disciplined as an industry and as leaders at not just chasing after every new thing, but understanding the ones that are going to matter and putting our efforts behind those?
This is actually a huge problem that I see today, is that you will, and you probably see this as well, somebody will go to San Francisco, they'll see a robot that's making coffee, and then they immediately go on Twitter and Facebook and they're like, oh my God, baristas are out of a job.
Yep.
And we are very quick to extrapolate something that's on the fringes into something that's going to happen everywhere. I mean, people don't realize, but autonomous cars have been in the works for decades. So we need to kind of balance our expectations. And when you study foresight, one of the cool things that they teach you is that there's not just one future. And it's frustrating because we say, what is the future of work? Which implies that, what is the one thing that's going to happen to us that we need to prepare for? And instead, I would encourage people to think of what are the potential futures that might happen, and what do we need to do to help build and create the one that we would want to see. So being more active and understanding that there's not just one course of action,
Sure.
There's not one path. So if I'm an executive at an organization trying to understand these different technologies, I would really be trying to pay attention to what's the difference between hype and what's the difference between reality. And one of the things that you could do is there's a framework called STEEP, STEEP. Society, technology, environment, economy, and politics.
Okay.
And it can even be extended. You can add an L in there for legal as well. So let's say the technology is autonomous vehicles. So our autonomous vehicle is going to be around in the next year. Well, you ask the question around society. Is society ready for autonomous vehicles? Do we have the technology around autonomous vehicles? Do we have the infrastructure that is going to allow autonomous vehicles to scale?
Yeah.
Are politics supporting autonomous vehicles? And if you get a lot of yeses to these things, then you
There's
can
a high
probably tell
probability.
exactly. But something for autonomous vehicles, there's no infrastructure yet. The White House is not supportive of it. We don't have government rules and regulations behind it. There are a lot of ethical concerns that still haven't been addressed. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's kind of like maybe it'll be a little bit farther out. So I think asking those types of questions, looking
That's good
beyond
perspective.
the tech.
Yeah. That's great advice. You know what? This has been a lot of fun, and the stuff you're working on is so germane to the things that I work on and the audience that I talk to, because we're all trying to figure out how we help transform the workplace.
It's a fun space, right? There's always going to be a future of work, so it's a good place to
Let's
be.
make sure we spend some more time together and share ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks, Jacob. All right, bye-bye. Next time on Brad Anderson's Lunch Break. You're a born in the cloud company, but it's not like a typical born in the cloud where it started with one or two people and then grew up.
Mm-hmm.
You started running full speed day one, born in the cloud.
When we first bought the Azure Cloud, it went on my personal credit card because we didn't have corporate cards yet.